would we ever want to suffer? Well, I can't imagine that any of us do, but there is purpose in our suffering. It is said that suffering is a deep path to the heart of God. I believe that's true. It's also true that God has very special things to reveal to us when we encounter suffering. Even if you're not well acquainted with the book of Job, most people know that Job encountered the worst kind of suffering, which seems so incredibly unfair considering he was a righteous and godly man. But in Job 42:5, Job said this, "My ears had heard of you, but now my eyes have seen you." I love the way Pastor John Piper puts it. He said, the difference between what Job knew of God in prosperity and what he knew of him in adversity was the difference between hearing about and seeing. I want to share two very recent viewpoints with you that are real and raw and honest as they relate to suffering. And I think they demonstrate hearing and seeing so perfectly in suffering. Well, I had a very dear friend open up to me recently, and with tears in her eyes, she explained that while she had not walked away from God, she had not been intimate with Him for some time, but she was coming back, and for the last couple of weeks, she had been working on rekindling that fellowship with the Lord. And she said that she had some real fears, though. She said, "I've watched your family and what y'all have gone through with your sister Tina, and how strong y'all's faith has been and how deep we had gone with the Lord." She said, "I'm afraid of where God will take me in order to go deeper with Him." Y'all, that is so real. Can you relate? Because I certainly can. But then there's the other side of the coin. On that hard day of my sister's open heart surgery, definitely a day of suffering, I would say, a family member said after the ordeal was over, after the 8 hours of waiting for her surgery to be done, and she said, "I wish I could hold this feeling forever." And I asked her this week if she could put into words for me what she was feeling. And she said, "There had just been so much anticipation built up in me. Everything felt heavy. For days now, we had been waiting in an anxious unknown. I never doubted that God was at work, and I had faith that His will was being done. But it was hard for my mind and body to simply sit still in that. We had just received the news that Tina's surgery had been a success and that she was resting peacefully. The relief opened up a floodgate of joy that surged in me. It was overwhelming power and warmth and lightness all at the same time. In the next few minutes, when the thunderbirds flew over, it was almost a mirror to what I was feeling inside. God's goodness and power was so evident you could feel the vibration throughout your body. The mighty roar of the jets drowned out the background noise. My eyes were fixated in awe on the miraculous event in front of me. I was finally still as His goodness literally shook my soul. It was a spiritual and physical high I had never felt. A tangible reminder of how wonderful and powerful only our God can be." That is powerful. That is power in suffering. I'm pretty sure there's not a one of us that goes looking for suffering, but I can attest to this. For God's children, there is purpose in our suffering, and I believe it's this: if you choose it. Our relationship with God becomes less distant, less artificial, less legalistic, and more personal, more real, more intimate, and a whole lot deeper.